Hello and welcome to another Performance Architects How-To. Performance Architects is a business and technology consulting company that helps companies initiate and sustain big changes in their performance management and business intelligence environments and process. This video, along with others on our channel, should help provide some additional insight as you embark on or continue along your EPM and BI journey. Head over to our channel after this video or come back in the future to learn best practices, hear overviews, and take part in lessons we have designed to help you. We are focused on continuing to develop this community, and we welcome any recommendations you might have for future content. Thanks and enjoy.
Hi, this is John from Performance Architects. I'll be talking to you today about Oracle Business Intelligence 11G, specifically about hierarchical columns. What I'd like to do for you today is to create a report in the new version of Answers, which is called Analysis and Interactive Reporting. We'll be using the Sample Sales application. What I'm going to do is create a simple report that will show you the feature of a hierarchical column. One of the first things you'll notice when you go to a subject area containing a hierarchical column is that you'll see a slightly different icon next to the hierarchical column, and when you expand it, you'll be able to see all of the hierarchies or the complete set of hierarchy within the column itself. Now you'll notice, unlike regular columns in a subject area, you will not be able to add specific members of hierarchy to a report. Instead, you'll have to actually drag in the entire hierarchy to your report. And just for completeness, we'll add a fact to our report as well. Alright, we're going to run the report now. So what you'll see here in the results are the total revenue for all time, and as I expand, you'll begin to see what the breakout of revenue is across the top level of the hierarchy, which is year. And for those of you who are familiar with OBIE 10G, this is very similar to the concept of drilling down in a report. Except that there are two things that don't happen. First of all, new columns are not added to my query, and I can demonstrate that quickly by going back to the Criteria tab. And secondly, columns are not added to my filter. Instead, in OBI 11G, the context is kept in terms of remembering where it is in the hierarchy without having to add it to filters. And also I'm able to see all the levels on the hierarchy without adding additional columns. In addition, the fact in my report is being modified or adjusted for each level of the report, as you can see here. Now, one of the limitations of hierarchical columns is that, for instance, if I wanted to try to display fiscal and calendar time together, you'll see that an error comes up. It says that hierarchy from the same dimension already exists in this report, and you can only add one hierarchy per dimension to a report. So just be aware of this limitation. However, this is not to say that you can't go to another dimension and add another hierarchy. For instance, the products hierarchy. Now let's go to the results. And an interesting thing here is that, just like in OBI 10G, we've added a new column, but because it's by default when you have a hierarchical column, it's put in a pivot table and is in the excluded section. So what we're going to need to do, because this is the compound layout, is go into the pivot table and we're going to edit that view. And if we scroll down, we'll see the products hierarchy in the excluded section. And all we need to do is drag that up into our query. And now it displays along with the other time hierarchy. And we'll say done, which will update our compound layout. And so now we're looking at total time, and because we haven't expanded yet, we're looking at total products for each. So just as before, we're seeing the total for all time. Now what we can do is expand, let's say, this category here for 2010, and now we can actually see for 2010 what are the various breakouts between the product sets. And if we want to, another feature in OBI 11G is the ability to drag columns dynamically. We can do the inverse, where we can see what the breakout is per product total, and then go ahead and look at what they are for each time period. Another interesting thing to do with hierarchical columns is to expand and then drag up the hierarchical column into a prompt for the pivot table, where we now see BizTech, FunProd, and HomeView as choices for our pivot table. So we can filter in this way. And then when we're done, we can then drag it back down to the bottom, and we're looking at the same view we had before. Another interesting thing to do is to drag our hierarchy here and place it above, actually I was going to put it above revenue, but it actually would look better below revenue. It's a little cleaner. And now we can see the pivot of product by time. And again, for those of you who have experience in 10G, this was something that you would do in the design of the view, when actually now end users are able to manipulate the report in such a manner where they no longer need to actually go back and forth into the designer to make this change. We can also expand horizontally, so now we can see quarters for 2008, and at the same time we can expand the row and look at the breakout within a particular product set, and so forth and so on. And then we can collapse the sections when we're done. And I can move this back down to where I had it before. So that's just a small preview of hierarchical columns in version 10G, a very powerful tool, and something that I strongly encourage everybody to take full advantage of in 11G versus using drill downs in your report. And that concludes today's demo of hierarchical columns in OBIE 11G. Please check back here on the Performance Architects YouTube videos for more updates and more videos related to Oracle Business Intelligence and other products. Thank you.